Hey all, this is Rabbit. This is going to be a short tutorial on how to use structure blocks to terraform in Minecraft. These structure blocks can be used for Minecraft maps and in both creative and survival worlds. See that lake ahead of us? We are going to use structure blocks to link these small ponds to it and form a river. Alright, there's two ways of terraforming with structure blocks. The first is to use naturally generated structures that the game has produced for you to create what you're trying to make. In this case, a river. So the naturally generated structure are these ponds. We're going to use them to create our river. First thing we're going to do is give ourselves a structure block. You need to be in creative mode to do this. So once you're in creative mode, here's what you type. The player name, in this case yourself, and then the structure block. And next, you want to copy your naturally generated structures. Now, if I was actually going to be using this in my world, I would probably copy 3 or 4 of these ponds so that there'd be more differentiation as I join them together. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to copy one pond, and I pick this one. Let me show you how you would copy it. Okay, so you set up one corner. In this case, I'm going to do the higher corner. Let's give ourselves a block to build on. Okay, now you want to make sure you incorporate the whole of the pond, or the structure in this case. So I'm trying to make sure I have the ground or the dirt block there so the water doesn't just flow everywhere. I want to be one block higher. I want my structure block to be one block higher than the grass, because I would like to include the grass in this pond that I copy. So you click on the structure block, you switch over to corner mode, and you give this a name. Let's say first pond. Okay, that's one corner. Now you do the lower corner, so you go opposite. And you're going to do lower. Now let's see how deep this pond goes. It goes 1, 2, is that the deepest? Okay, so 1, 2, and then the dirt block, so 3 blocks deep. Let's come over to here, make sure we're incorporating both sides. So we want, actually, I don't want to copy that. Just a personal preference. Okay, let's put it this, and then go down to 4. 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where we're going to put this corner, and let's switch it to corner, and we give it the same name. So first pond. Once you set your corners, then you're going to save this. Put another structure block down, go to save, and do the name in first pond, and then hit detect. Okay, so you have some outline lines. Make sure that everything you want fitting in this pond is there. And yeah, I like there's dirt on all sides, and yeah, I like it. So once you've done that first detect, you double check and make sure you like where it's sitting. If you did not like where it was sitting, you could use actually both structure size and relative position to move the block around. I will be showing you later in this tutorial how to do that. But I like where this is, so I'm going to hit save. So structure is saved. We can take out these blocks, and now let's start linking these ponds up using the saved first pond that we made. So here we go. Setting down sort of randomly near that first pond. We can maneuver once we load up our saved structure. So go into load mode, pick the structure that you had just saved, in this case first pond, and okay, now what happens is this loads up and it's a little too high in the air, and I don't quite like where it's positioned. So go back to your block here and let's try rotating it. Let's see what it does. Where's it go? Where's it go? It's kind of an interesting position, but too far off from where I want it to be. I'm going to, what can I do? Can I do a mirror? What happens with the mirror? Now that's kind of interesting. I think I might like that. So I like it, but I want it to move over to the side a bit more. And you can decide, you know, where you want this to be positioned. That's the joy of structure blocks. So let's just try relative positions. This corresponds, I believe, to the XYZ axes. There's probably a more precise way of doing this. I just go by hit and miss. Like this started out at 0. Well, let me try 2 here and see which way it moves. It moves further away from me, I believe. No, it moved closer to me, actually. From right to left. I like it. Okay, that's good. And I like that actually it's hitting the edge of that pond there. So now I'm going to lower this. Whoop, forgive me. Now I'm going to lower it. I'm going to lower it with the y-axis. Let's try. I don't want it higher, so I'm going to go lower. That's probably a negative number. Let's see. Don't hit load. Hit done. Now this might work because the first layer in my save is the grass layer. So this might be a little high over here, but we'll see. Now here's the only downside for me with these structure blocks. Once you've laid it down, you're kind of stuck. So be careful before you hit that second load. Do you like where it is? Now you can of course do some of your own terraforming once you hit load, but you know, try to be careful before you commit. And let's see, am I happy? Ooh, I'm happy. Yes. All right. So you'll see that we copied it almost in the exact same position. So let's do another copy of this pond. Oh, let's put it here. Or maybe here. Yeah, let's go over one block. Again, back to load. First pond. And load. Oh, I didn't include entities. Well, there we go. Let's see what kind of difference it makes. Let's rotate it again. What does that do? Nope, don't like it. Nope. I think actually this might work, but scooting it over a little bit. Okay, this is kind of good. but I'm going to scoot it a little bit more. So what I want to do is have it scoot one over this way and I think two that way. All right, let's do it. So let's try 2 again and see which way it goes. Okay, it went away from me. No, I think it went away from me. Let me double check. No, it came towards me. Actually, I like it. That works. Now let's have this one. Let's try 2 on that. No, that's not the direction I wanted. So let's try -2. All right, I like that orientation. Let's lower it. We do, let's try -3 again. Remember the first layer that we made was for the grass. And I think this is working. Let's hit load. And yes, I like the way this is coming together. All right, so now at this point, what you can do is do your own individual block maneuvering to join the edges. And you're starting to form the river. And this is with me only copying one pond. And there's some differentiation in the way it looks. I don't know if straight off, if one would be able to tell that one had only copied one naturally generated structure. If you had copied 3 or 4 and interchanged them in here, you might get enough differentiation that there's no way that someone would go, wow, that looks very much the same. And then you're going to do your own terraforming to clean this up. But boy, this makes it a lot easier. To complete the river, you just repeat the process all the way down to the lake there. Easy peasy. All right, the second method of terraforming with structure blocks is to use your own structures rather than naturally generated ones. It's a very similar process. You create the structure you want. You see that nice little pond that I had created. You set your corners, and I'll move through this next section a little quicker. We're going to, pardon me, sorry. We're going to name it. We're going to detect it. Do I like where the lines are? Yes, I do. No, I don't. It's a little too much over here. So you start repositioning. All right, I repositioned the lines. I like how this is bounding in my structure, and so I save it. All right, and then you do what we did in the first section. You load, you check the lines, you look to see if you like the positioning, you reposition, and rinse and repeat until you have terraformed the land the way that you want and gone from having, in this case, just a few ponds to a river. I'll show you the end product. All right, I've joined together a bunch of variations of that one River 2 structure block that we saved, and look, we've definitely got a little river going here. It's looking sweet. I like it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you did, perhaps subscribe. I hope you find this useful in your world. If you want to, if this isn't clear, if you wanted to use this in a survival world, what you'd have to do is just switch back and forth. Switch to creative, make whatever structure you wanted to make, save it, and then switch. Once you've put it into your world, switch back to survival. and see you next time.